Getting up from a chair, carrying groceries, or playing with your grandchildren, these simple daily activities can become challenging as we age. But here's something every woman over 60 needs to know. There's one exercise that can transform your independence, and it's not what you might expect. Studies show that women who regularly perform this movement are 67% less likely to suffer from falls, build stronger bones even after menopause, and maintain their independence well into their golden years. The best part? You can start right now, in your own home without any fancy equipment. Even if you've never exercised before or think you're too old to start, this guide will show you exactly how to unlock these benefits safely and effectively. You'll be amazed at how this one movement pattern can change everything from your bone density to your confidence level. Stay with me to discover not just the how, but the why behind this essential exercise that's becoming a game changer for women worldwide. And make sure to follow along for more science-backed ways to stay strong, independent, and healthy as you age. Now let's take a closer look at what's happening to our bones as we age, because this is where things get really interesting. After menopause, women can lose up to 20% of their bone density within just 5 years. That's like losing 1/5 of your bone strength before you even realize it's happening. But here's the good news. Research published in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research shows that weight-bearing exercises can actually help your body build new bone tissue, even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Think of your bones like a savings account. You need to make regular deposits to maintain a healthy balance. Every time you perform resistance exercises, you're making a deposit into your bone bank. Your body responds to this physical stress by building stronger, denser bones, especially in crucial areas like your hips and spine. This isn't just about preventing osteoporosis. It's about maintaining the strength you need to live life on your terms. A groundbreaking study from the University of Missouri followed women aged 65 and older who started resistance training. After just 6 months, they not only maintained their bone density, they actually increased it by 1 to 2% in key areas. Compare that to the control group, who lost about 2% of their bone mass during the same period. That's the difference between getting stronger and becoming more fragile. But it's not just about the numbers. When your bones are stronger, everyday activities become easier and safer. Reaching for items on high shelves, carrying laundry baskets, or playing with grandchildren, these all require good bone strength. And here's something most people don't realize. Strong bones also help protect your organs and maintain good posture, which becomes increasingly important as we age. The best part about resistance training for bone health is that you don't need to spend hours at the gym or lift heavy weights to see benefits. Studies show that even moderate resistance exercises, when done consistently, can help maintain and even improve bone density. This is particularly important because once you lose bone mass, it's much harder to get it back than it is to maintain what you have. Let me share something fascinating from recent research at the University of Cambridge. They found that women who regularly performed resistance exercises had a 40% lower risk of major fractures compared to those who didn't exercise at all. That's not just a statistic. It's the difference between maintaining your independence and potentially facing a life-changing injury. Remember those everyday activities we talked about earlier? Each one requires a foundation of strong bones. When you build this foundation through regular exercise, you're not just preventing future problems, you're investing in your ability to continue doing the things you love. It's like building a house. Without a solid foundation, everything else becomes unstable. Let's flow naturally into our section on balance and fall prevention, keeping that conversational teaching tone. Here's something that might surprise you. Every year, 1 in 3 women over 65 experiences a fall. But what's really eye-opening is that most of these falls aren't just accidents. They're often the result of something we can actually control, our balance and coordination. The Journal of Aging and Physical Activity recently published a fascinating study that caught my attention. They found that women who regularly practice resistance training reduce their fall risk by an incredible 58%. Think about that for a moment. Cutting your risk of falling by more than half just by adding one type of exercise to your routine. But why does this happen? Well, it all comes down to something called proprioception. That's your body's awareness of where it is in space. As we age, this sense naturally declines, kind of like how the reception on an old TV might get fuzzy. The good news is that resistance training works like a fine-tuning knob, helping to sharpen that reception again. Let me share a real-world example from a study at the University of Michigan. They worked with a group of women in their 70s who had never done resistance training before. After just 12 weeks, these women showed remarkable improvements in their ability to recover from unexpected balance challenges, like when you step off a curb you didn't notice or catch your toe on an uneven sidewalk. Their bodies had learned to react faster and more effectively to keep them upright. What's particularly interesting is how this type of exercise strengthens what we call your core chain, the muscles that run from your ankles all the way up to your neck. Think of it like a chain of holiday lights. When one bulb is weak, the whole string becomes unstable. By strengthening these connected muscles through resistance training, you're essentially creating a more stable, responsive system throughout your entire body. The impact on daily life is remarkable. A recent study in the Journal of Gerontology followed women who started resistance training twice a week. Within 6 months, they reported feeling more confident doing things many of us take for granted, walking on uneven surfaces, climbing stairs, or even just standing on one leg while putting on pants. One participant said something that really stuck with me. "I used to worry about falling every time I walked to my mailbox. Now, I don't even think about it." But here's what really gets me excited. The benefits go beyond just preventing falls. When you improve your balance through resistance training, you're also improving your posture, reducing back pain, and increasing your overall mobility. It's like getting multiple benefits from one investment. A study from Stanford University showed that women who maintained good balance through regular exercise were not only less likely to fall, but they also walked faster, had better endurance, and reported feeling more independent in their daily activities. Some people worry that starting balance training might be risky, especially if they already feel unsteady. But here's the beautiful thing about resistance training. It naturally improves your balance while you're in a controlled, safe position. You're essentially practicing balance without putting yourself at risk of falling. It's like learning to swim in the shallow end of the pool. You're building the skills you need in a safe environment. Moving smoothly into our section on functional independence, keeping our engaging teaching style. You know that feeling of satisfaction when you can take care of yourself without asking for help? That independence is precious. And here's what's fascinating. Resistance training is like a master key that unlocks your ability to maintain that independence longer. Research from the National Institute of Aging shows something remarkable. Women who incorporate regular resistance training into their lives are able to maintain their independence for an average of 7 to 10 years longer than those who don't. Let's talk about what independence really means in our daily lives. It's about being able to carry your own groceries, get up from a restaurant booth without struggling, or play with your grandchildren without worrying about getting tired too quickly. A groundbreaking study in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that women who performed resistance exercises just twice a week experienced a 45% increase in their ability to perform these everyday tasks. That's not just a number, that's the difference between needing help and being self-sufficient. Think about your muscles like a bank account that you're constantly withdrawing from as you age. Starting around age 50, we naturally lose about 1 to 2% of our muscle mass each year if we don't do anything about it. That might not sound like much, but it adds up quickly. By age 70, that could mean losing up to 40% of your muscle strength. But here's the exciting part. Resistance training acts like regular deposits into that account, helping you maintain and even build new muscle tissue. A fascinating study from Johns Hopkins University followed women in their 60s and 70s who started resistance training. After 6 months, they weren't just stronger. They reported feeling decades younger in terms of what they could do. Simple tasks like carrying laundry upstairs, getting out of the bathtub, or even opening tight jars became significantly easier. One participant put it beautifully. "I stopped asking my children to help with everything. I became self-sufficient again." But it goes beyond physical strength. When you maintain your independence through resistance training, you're also protecting your mental well-being. The Archives of Internal Medicine published research showing that women who maintain their physical independence through exercise report significantly lower rates of depression and anxiety. It makes sense. When you feel capable in your body, your confidence naturally grows. Here's something particularly interesting about functional independence. It's not just about being able to do things on your own, it's about having the choice to do them. A recent study from the University of California found that women who maintained their strength through resistance training were more likely to continue social activities, travel, and pursue new hobbies. They weren't just surviving, they were truly living. Think of resistance training like building a reserve of strength. It's not just about being strong enough for your regular daily activities. It's about having extra capacity for those unexpected challenges life throws at you. Maybe it's helping a friend move furniture, playing with an energetic grandchild, or recovering from a minor illness. That reserve of strength becomes your safety net, ensuring you can bounce back from life's challenges more easily. Let's flow naturally into how this exercise impacts our mental health and cognitive function. When we talk about staying sharp as we age, most people think about crossword puzzles or learning a new language. But here's something fascinating that researchers at Harvard Medical School discovered. Resistance training actually changes your brain in ways we never expected. They found that when women over 65 engaged in regular resistance exercise, their brain volume actually increased, particularly in areas responsible for memory and decision-making. This might sound surprising, but think about it. Every time you perform a resistance exercise, you're not just working your muscles. You're creating what scientists call a cascade of positive changes in your brain. Your body releases special proteins called brain-derived neurotrophic factors, or BDNF for short. Think of BDNF as fertilizer for your brain cells, helping them grow stronger and form new connections. The fascinating part? These changes happen regardless of your age. A groundbreaking study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society followed women in their 70s who started resistance training twice a week. After just 6 months, they showed significant improvements in cognitive tests, particularly in areas like memory and decision-making speed. But here's what really caught my attention. The women reported feeling more confident in their daily activities, not just physically, but mentally too. They described feeling more alert, more engaged, and better able to concentrate on tasks. But it's not just about preventing cognitive decline. Resistance training has shown remarkable effects on mood and emotional well-being. Research from the University of Sydney found that women who participated in regular resistance training reported a 48% reduction in symptoms of anxiety and depression. The reason? Every time you exercise, your body releases endorphins, natural mood boosters that create what some people call a natural high. But unlike temporary fixes, these mood improvements tend to last. Here's something even more intriguing. Resistance training seems to help your brain adapt and become more resilient to stress. Scientists at the University of California discovered that regular resistance exercise actually changes how your brain responds to stress hormones like cortisol. It's like building mental armor that helps you handle life's challenges more effectively. One participant in their study described it perfectly. I used to get overwhelmed by small problems, but now I feel more equipped to handle whatever comes my way. The social aspects of staying mentally sharp shouldn't be overlooked either. When you maintain your physical strength and independence, you're more likely to stay socially active, and social connection is one of the strongest protectors against cognitive decline. The National Institute on Aging found that women who maintained their physical activity levels through resistance training were 3 times more likely to maintain regular social activities, from shopping with friends to attending community events. What's particularly exciting about these mental health benefits is how quickly they can appear. Unlike some medications that might take weeks to show effects, many women report feeling mentally sharper and more positive after just a few sessions of resistance training. A study in the Journal of Clinical Psychiatry found that participants reported improvements in mood and anxiety levels within just 2 weeks of starting a resistance training program. Let's move into the practical, hands-on part of implementing this exercise into your daily routine. Now that you understand all these amazing benefits, you might be wondering, how do I actually get started? The good news is that you can begin right where you are, even if you've never exercised before. Let's break this down into something simple and doable that won't overwhelm you or put you at risk of injury. First, let me share something crucial that researchers at the Mayo Clinic discovered. The safest and most effective way to start resistance training is to begin with your own body weight, focusing on movements you already do every day. Think about how many times you get up from a chair. That's actually a form of resistance training when done with proper form and intention. They found that women who started this way were 82% more likely to stick with their exercise routine long-term, compared to those who jumped into using equipment too quickly. Before you begin any new exercise program, have a quick chat with your doctor. This isn't just a formality, it's about making sure you're starting in a way that's safe for your specific situation. Research from the American College of Sports Medicine shows that taking this simple step reduces your risk of exercise-related complications by over 90%. Now let's talk about what you actually need to get started. The beauty of this approach is its simplicity. You don't need expensive equipment or a gym membership. All you need is a sturdy chair that doesn't roll, a clear space about the size of a bathroom, comfortable clothes that let you move freely, supportive shoes with non-slip soles. The University of Florida conducted fascinating research showing that women who started with these basic items at home were 3 times more likely to maintain their exercise routine compared to those who felt pressured to join a gym or buy expensive equipment. Let's break down your starting point into 3 phases. In phase 1, you'll begin with what scientists call modified resistance training. This means you're using supports like walls or chairs to help you build strength safely. A study in the Journal of Physical Therapy showed that women who started this way reduced their risk of exercise-related discomfort by 75%. During phase 1, you'll focus on movements that might seem simple but are foundational for building strength. The key is to perform these movements mindfully, focusing on proper form rather than rushing through them. Research from Stanford's Aging Studies program found that this mindful approach leads to 40% better results in strength gains compared to rushing through exercises. As you progress to phase 2, you'll gradually decrease your reliance on supports. This isn't about racing to the next level. It's about moving forward when your body tells you it's ready. Scientists at the University of Michigan found that women who progressed at their own pace were 65% more likely to achieve their strength goals compared to those who pushed too hard too fast. A fascinating study from the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity revealed something surprising. Consistency matters more than intensity. Women who did gentle resistance training 3 times a week saw better results than those who pushed themselves too hard once a week. One participant put it perfectly. "I thought I had to feel exhausted after each session to see results. Learning that gentle, consistent effort works better was a game changer for me." Let's dive into the crucial technical aspects while keeping it clear and relatable. Getting the form right isn't just about doing the exercise, it's about doing it in a way that brings you all those amazing benefits we talked about while keeping you safe. Let me share 3 key points that researchers have found make the biggest difference in getting results safely. First, let's talk about something that physical therapists at Johns Hopkins discovered. Breathing properly during resistance exercise can increase your stability by up to 30%. Think about breathing like providing your muscles with fuel. You want to exhale during the hardest part of the movement. That's when you're pushing or lifting, and inhale as you return to your starting position. It's like inflating a balloon that supports your spine from the inside out. One study participant described it perfectly. "Once I got the breathing right, everything else felt easier and more natural." The second key point comes from fascinating research at the University of Toronto about body alignment. They found that keeping your core engaged during exercise is like wearing an invisible support belt. But here's the trick. You're not sucking in your stomach like you're trying to zip up tight jeans. Instead, imagine you're gently pulling your belly button toward your spine while still being able to breathe normally. Women who mastered this technique reported 45% less back strain during their exercises. Now, here's something really interesting about the third point: joint positioning. Researchers at Stanford discovered that the angle of your joints during exercise can make the difference between building strength and risking strain. They found that keeping your joints soft, meaning slightly bent rather than locked straight, reduces pressure on your joints by up to 40%. Think about it like this. If your arm or leg is a door, you want it softly closed, not slammed shut. Let's talk about common mistakes, because understanding what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do. The most frequent issue researchers see is rushing through movements. A study in the Journal of Physical Therapy showed that women who performed exercises at a controlled pace saw 60% better results than those who rushed. Remember, this isn't a race. Each movement should be deliberate and controlled. Another crucial finding from the University of Michigan's Aging Studies program revealed something surprising about pain versus discomfort. While you might feel some muscle fatigue, that feeling like you've done some work, you should never feel sharp pain. They found that women who learned to distinguish between healthy muscle fatigue and concerning pain were 70% more likely to stick with their exercise program long term. Here's a fascinating discovery from recent research. Your body position can actually affect which muscles do the work. Scientists found that even a small shift in how you stand or sit can change which muscles are working by up to 40%. That's why proper alignment is so crucial. It ensures you're targeting the right muscles and getting the most benefit from each movement. Let's flow naturally into the crucial supporting elements that help you get the most out of your resistance training. What you do outside your exercise sessions is just as important as the movements themselves. Let me share something fascinating that nutritionists at Tufts University discovered. Women who combined proper nutrition with their resistance training saw twice the strength gains compared to those who only focused on exercise. But don't worry, we're not talking about complicated diet plans or expensive supplements. Let's start with protein because here's something surprising. After age 60, your body actually needs more protein than when you were younger, not less. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that women over 60 need about 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. That's about 25% more than younger adults. Think of protein like the building blocks your body uses to repair and strengthen muscles after exercise. One participant in their study put it perfectly. I used to think protein was just for bodybuilders, but once I started getting enough, I noticed I recovered faster and felt stronger. Calcium and vitamin D work together like a dynamic duo for your bones. The National Osteoporosis Foundation's research revealed something crucial. Women who combined adequate calcium intake with resistance training showed 35% better bone density improvements than those who only did one or the other. But here's the practical part. You don't need expensive supplements. Foods like Greek yogurt, sardines, and leafy greens can provide the calcium you need, while a 15-minute walk in the sunshine helps your body produce vitamin D naturally. Now, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked: hydration. Scientists at the University of Connecticut found that being even slightly dehydrated can reduce your strength by up to 10% and increase your risk of dizziness during exercise. The simple rule they recommend? Your water intake in ounces should be about half your body weight in pounds. For example, if you weigh 140 pounds, aim for 70 ounces of water throughout the day. Recovery is another crucial piece of the puzzle. A groundbreaking study from the Sleep Foundation revealed that women who got adequate sleep, that's 7 to 8 hours per night, saw 30% better improvements in their strength compared to those who regularly got less than 6 hours. Think of sleep as your body's repair time when it processes the benefits of your exercise and builds new strength. Here's something particularly interesting about recovery days. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic found that taking proper rest between exercise sessions isn't being lazy. It's actually when your body builds strength. They recommend at least one full day between resistance training sessions. During this time, your muscles repair and become stronger. Kind of like how a cut heals and the skin becomes tougher in that spot. Stress management plays a bigger role than you might think. Scientists at Harvard discovered that high stress levels can reduce the benefits of exercise by up to 40%. The good news? Simple stress reduction techniques like deep breathing or a short daily walk can help your body maintain the positive effects of your resistance training. One study participant noted, "Once I learned to manage my stress better, I noticed my exercises felt easier and I recovered faster." Let's finish strong with our final sections, maintaining our engaging educational tone. Let me share a practical weekly plan that research has shown works best for senior women. The Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found something fascinating. Women who followed a structured but flexible program were 78% more likely to stick with it long term. Here's what that looks like in real life. For beginners, start with just 2 sessions per week, spacing them out with at least 1 day of rest in between. Researchers at the University of Florida discovered that this schedule provides the perfect balance between progress and recovery for women just starting out. Each session should last about 20 to 30 minutes. That's all it takes to start seeing benefits. One study participant shared, "I was relieved to learn I didn't need to spend hours exercising to see results." As you progress and feel more comfortable, you can gradually increase to 3 sessions per week. But here's the key finding from Mayo Clinic research. It's better to do shorter sessions consistently than longer sessions sporadically. They found that women who did regular 25-minute sessions had better results than those who tried to make up for missed days with longer workouts. Listen to your body's signals. This isn't about pushing through pain. Research shows that some muscle fatigue is normal, but if you're feeling excessive soreness, it's okay to take an extra recovery day. The University of Michigan's Aging Studies program found that women who adjusted their schedule based on how they felt were 65% more likely to maintain their exercise routine long term. Now let's wrap everything up with what we've learned about this essential exercise for senior women. We've covered a lot of ground, from bone health to brain function, from practical techniques to proper nutrition. But here's what really matters. Every woman has the power to maintain her independence and strength regardless of her starting point. Remember those statistics we talked about at the beginning? How resistance training can reduce fall risk by 58%, increase bone density even after menopause, and help maintain independence for up to 10 years longer. These aren't just numbers, they represent real possibilities for your future. Every repetition, every session, every healthy choice you make adds up to something powerful. A stronger, more confident, more capable you. You don't need expensive equipment or complicated routines. You don't need to become a fitness expert or spend hours at the gym. What you need is consistency, proper form, and the willingness to start where you are. As one 75-year-old participant in a recent study said, "I wish I had known earlier that it's never too late to start getting stronger." Share this information with other women in your life who might benefit from it. And if you want to learn more about maintaining your health and independence as you age, make sure to follow along for our next video about essential nutrition tips for women over 60. Remember, we're in this journey together, supporting each other every step of the way.